12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
From new reporting rules to a landmark Supreme Court decision, 2024 brought major shifts in agricultural law and taxation. How do those changes impact farmers and agribusinesses? We'll take a look just ahead. Plus, new developments and the battle over the bird flu. The Department of Agriculture is giving one company the green light for a vaccine. A good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. The winter weather we've dealt with this week had a big impact on farmers and their livestock. Roman Campa talked with a farmer in Sumner County about how he prepared for the bitter cold conditions right in the middle of calving season.
Another year.
I enjoy the calving process, and I don't mind a little bit of trouble here and there.
And another round of cold weather during calving season.
We used to calve in March. Well, I don't know if people remember back in the old days, it used to rain in March and it would get really muddy, and water running around is probably worse than a snow is a cold rain.
For Tim Turek, calving season starts this time of year, and when he sees extreme cold coming up in the forecast, he takes extra precautions to keep his newborn cattle safe.
Right now I'm gathering up little square bales to bed the barns, and the baby calves that are born, they maybe have a couple hours before we'll have to get to them. That'll be the challenge. We try to keep bedding out and keep them out of the wind as best we can.
He says the key is to keep the calves warm and with their mothers.
We have sleds that we'll put them in, and hopefully the mom will follow us to the barn and we'll put them in there. And if you keep them out of the wind and they're dry and they get to nurse in the first hour or so, if they nurse, they're golden.
As for now, Tim says he'll take one cold winter day at a time.
I've seen it get so bad where you just have to go in and wait for it to clear out before you can check on them again. It'll be a rough few days, but we're kind of used to it. It usually happens once a season.
In Sumner County, Roman Campa, 12 News.
The latest on the bird flu, the USDA says it accidentally fired several employees who are working on controlling the bird flu. At least one of those people was fired from the National Bio and Agri-Defense Facility in Manhattan, Kansas. That's according to the Mercury newspaper. Several USDA workers got a termination letter over the weekend in the midst of the H5N1 outbreak. And now the agency says, quote, "We are working to swiftly rectify the situation and rescind those letters." The USDA also says its food safety and inspection service frontline positions are considered public safety positions, and it's continuing to hire the workforce necessary to ensure the safety and adequate supply of food to fulfill its statutory mission. And the Agriculture Department issues a conditional license to a company producing a bird flu vaccine for chickens. The vaccine maker previously developed vaccines for avian flu to protect California condors in 2023. Other countries already vaccinate their flock to protect them against the virus, but the U.S. had taken a different approach. Workers killed more than 150 million birds infected or exposed to the virus since the beginning of the outbreak. The vaccine's license may signal a change in strategy, though critics say a vaccine is not the answer. They say it'll be difficult to detect the virus in vaccinated birds, and other countries may not import vaccinated birds. A dire need for attorneys has Kansas judges, attorneys, and law schools seeking support from state lawmakers. Rural parts of the state are seeing the impact of a shortage of lawyers, and there's concern things will get worse because of the aging workforce. Of the nearly 7,000 lawyers who work in Kansas, nearly 80% are concentrated in urban areas. One bill lawmakers are considering would create a training program for attorneys in rural Kansas, similar to doctors and veterinarians. The program would also provide financial assistance up to $20,000 a year.
People in rural communities are suffering from a lack of attorneys who are able to assist with legal issues from writing wills to resolving property line disputes. And for criminal defendants, a constitutional crisis is looming as there are fewer attorneys available to represent criminal defendants. Financial assistance in law school and beyond is crucial to making rural practice a viable, sustainable option.
The state estimates the program would cost about $600,000 for the first year and grow as the program expands to accept more attorneys. Farmers enrolled in a federal soil conservation program may not receive payments this year. The Kansas Soil Health Alliance says it's been advised to stop work on the Farmers for Soil Health program. It comes after the Department of Energy Efficiency froze funding for that program. The program reimburses farmers for participating in soil conservation practices. The Kansas Soil Health Alliance tells us state programs will also not receive payment for planned education efforts in 2025. The new Ag Secretary took a trip to Kansas this week. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins visited southwest Kansas on Monday. She toured Finney County Feed Yard, High Plains Ponderosa Dairy, and National Beef and Liberal. Rollins also hosted a roundtable with Kansas farmers and ranchers. She says she loved her visit and thanked Senator Roger Marshall and Representative Tracy Mann for hosting. Still ahead, a Kansas town trying to change a current ordinance. Coming up, we're hearing from residents on the change they're trying to make and why.